In the moments we have, Vince, I want you, in between Dave and Joe and I, as we pose questions, to answer the questions of what, who, why, and how, as it relates to the Democrat Party strategy against Black America. And again, I'm going to restate what you said, just so we've got it established here. You said, quote, the Democrats have infiltrated, compromised, and betrayed the black church, intentionally turning blacks away from Christ and biblical teachings, while creating stumbling blocks to our return. You also said this: for 220 years, through slavery, succession, segregation, and now abortion, they, Democrat Party, have murdered black people on an industrial scale, end quote. Now, that's quite a statement. I want to go to you here right off. What? Answer that question, what? You've identified infiltration of the black church. You've mentioned abortion in this quote, but expand on the what of the Democrat Party. What have they done to the black family? What have they done to the black church? What have they done to freedom of black Americans?
Okay, well, there are three things I want your audience to take away from this conversation we're having. Number one is the Democratic Party is the most perpetually evil group and organization existing in the world today. That's one. Two, the Democrats cannot hold power without 90% of the black vote. And they do this by employing the iron triangle to keep black and white Christians divided. Now, the iron triangle consists of three entities. One, and this is not all, not all, most black preachers, most black civic organizers, and most black politicians. Not all, most. And the third one is that we have to reconcile. Black and white Christians have to reconcile to stop this. This is the only way this is going to be stopped. Their goal, and as you know, Jesus Christ, his last prayer before he went to the cross was for unity, for us to be unified, because he knew the Satan was going to come and break us apart. Now, let's start at the beginning. Down south, when they had black people enslaved, history tells us, and in this book by this writer by the name of Gunnar Myrdal, The Negro Problem in America, he stated how the slaveholders would use itinerant preachers, mostly black, to keep the slaves subdued and under control, and that the whole system was designed to keep black people under control of the master. Let's go to the Civil War. They fought the Civil War, and all of them were Democrats. The whole Southern plantation system, from Jeff Davis, Robert E. Lee, all were Southern Democrats. They fought for slavery. 600,000 people died, trillions of dollars in damage. Bam. They almost destroyed the country for slavery. They lost. Now let's go into Jim Crow and segregation. After 1865, they decided they wanted to take the South back. So they decided to go on a systematic state of destruction, killing, hanging, lynchings. And if you look at history, you'll see that in 1876, the South went Democrat. Again, how does the South go Democrat if you had white people not voting but black people voting? How did it do it? It did it because we had this thing called Stockholm Syndrome. It is a mechanism that everybody uses to survive. It came from what happened in the 70s when this bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden, and these bank robbers had these people captive. And by the end of the captivity, the people were fighting the police to help the bank robbers. And they've called it Stockholm Syndrome. Now, we've seen it here in America a lot. We see it when it comes down to when women abuse women, save their husbands, in hostage situations. But it definitely happened in slavery. Malcolm X talked about it, about how we identify with our master. He said that back in slavery, the slave would see the master sick, and he said, "What, boss, we sick? Master, we sick?" We identify with him. Now, let's fast forward. We finally get the vote in, let's say, 1960, after the Civil Rights Movement. The amazing thing, everybody thought, even the South thought, the black people want to vote Republican. That's why they kept us from voting for 100 years. They were amazed to find that over 80% of black people voted for the Democrat Party down south. They didn't even understand it. The Republicans called it the Great Betrayal, but they did not understand Stockholm Syndrome. Even now, black people hate Republicans because their white masters hated Republicans. It's just that simple. It is a defense mechanism, and cognitive dissonance comes in because we have decided that it's too much mental pain to change. It's basically pride, fear, incompetence, and pride. And why do these Democrats want the black community? For the vote.